they never fix them because the cure, like food is medicine, dude. And that's the big thing we're missing. Like we should be learning that since we're kids. Like we should be understanding like how to eat, how to grow our own food, how to cook it, how to clean, and taking care of our bodies. Like if we don't know that, like what the fuck else is there?
Yeah. I remember going to your backyard one time and there's like this fucking 7-foot kale leaf coming out. Let's go.
Kale leaves like friggin' big as your face.
I'm like, well, what in the Jurassic Park you got going on back
Yeah, that was my COVID garden. That was fun. Yeah. Pretty dope. But yeah, that's it, dude. Like my dad had cancer and diabetes and almost died and changed his diet. He lost 70 pounds just from stopping. Like he put him on, the guy's like double fisting diet sodas and spraying whipped cream in his mouth and eating pies. And it's like 2 liter, like everything he ate was junk. Everything. Didn't drink water. I don't know how he's still alive. It was 75, 80 pounds overweight in his 70s. Now he's 80. It's like, bro, how are you still alive? Like, this is disgusting. And you're a medical doctor. You're an MD. You have an MD from Stanford. And this is like how you take care of yourself. This is how I'm not impressed by, like these highly educated people because it's like, well, you have a lot of education and certifications and degrees, but you still don't understand like the basics of being a human being. Like you miss that whole chapter. Like go back and reread that chapter again.
Once again, American society is trained for convenience.
I think it's how we're raised, dude. I think it goes back to the brainwashing in the schools because we go to school and we start learning and it's all this weird shit. And it's like if we went to school and we're learning like how to grow a garden and you're outside and you're planting things and you're watering things every day and and then when it grows, you're like harvesting it and cooking it. And maybe there's animals you're learning
the
how to.
The biggest realization that I recently have gotten was I typed in nutrition. Other countries, what they're serving people like, for instance, a country like Korea, the children, they're serving them like home-cooked meals for lunch.
Good.
Like kimchi, rice, chicken, like all home-cooked style. What are they serving these American kids? It's like processed, microwavable foods, basically.
Pizza Hut and like soda.
Yeah, soda.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy. Like,
crazy.
This is what I feel like us Americans have to really push.
We're in a predatory system that's preying on our ignorance and purposefully making us dumb so that we don't question this stuff and we don't learn this stuff. And then we're just like ground into fucking the system. And it's bad. Like it's taken me years to overcome like my flavor addictions and my food, because I grew up eating junk food and I didn't care. Like I was an athlete. What can it do to me? And then in my 30s, I started having like digestive problems. I'm like, what is going on? Like I'm super healthy and I work out and it's like, no, because it's
all that leaky gut syndrome.
Deeper than that.
Yeah, it's all that nasty ass shit.
Yeah, so I've had to like dig deep and try to figure it out. And that's how I learned that food is medicine. Like that comment right there, like everyone's going to doctors trying to get medicines. If food's the medicine. Grow your own garden. Food's a medicine. Like that's a real fucking thing. It's
another topic that I always feel like it's always messed up in the American system is the whole emphasis of you need a degree to do a job.
I know, right? You can literally learn how to do a job in like a year, or at least get started.
I think it's the biggest joke in America.
Well, that's why they want to brainwash your ass and socialize you in this weird way.
They're convincing you need to get $250,000 in debt.
Yeah.
To do a job.
To be a surgeon. It's a fucking caste system is what it is. It's like,
okay, let's make sure they go to college, get in debt.
Yeah.
And then work 25 years to get out of that debt.
It's a weird system.
It's a terrible system.
I agree. I mean, and a lot of these kids are, there's a lot of smart kids that work hard. I was at that private school. That's like the elite. That's like billionaires' kids going there. These kids,
yeah.
They want their kids to, be successful. So go to the school, take all the tests, get your grades, get your high SAT scores, go to an Ivy League school. Like this is like how they think. I don't know because I'm not in that world. I rejected that world straight away.
Yeah.
I just did my thing ever since. I mean, I did go to college because that's the path I was put on, but and I did well. Like I enjoyed college. It was cool.
It's also funny that the world is eating up the world right now with AI. It's like, oh, let's build this great thing called AI, and now it's like, oh shit, we just decimated the workforce because we made this AI product.
Is it that much?
It's drastic.
How's it like? What jobs is it taking away? Like writers and
Coders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It can code itself? Yeah.
So I don't even know how to code, and I'm learning how to code just by prompting.
Oh, wow.
Making
just tell it to code?
Yeah, I'm making an application. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then it's writing the code. And then if I don't like it, blah, 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 then it corrects it.
And it works?
It's working.
Wow.
So right now, maybe with a little bit of guidance, it's someone in the CS field, computer science field.
Yeah.
You can make your own application just with a little bit of guidance, not even knowing how to code. So imagine
some kind of evolution, some kind of like evolutionary step into like this AI world.
So that's why I think the people that are going to continue to succeed are visionaries. People like you, people that have been able to fucking move forward on their own terms, not a 1 or a 0 in the system. Like you're just an outlier.
Yeah, I feel like you have to stay ahead of things. All this stuff can be used for good. Like AI can be used for good. Like
AI is going to be. It's already doing wonderful things in medical. It's
right.
Diagnosing things that doctors have missed.
Right. Even the medical system, which I consider to be extremely predatory and ignorant.
Oh, the insurance. It's
ridiculous. But if I need a surgery, thank God for surgeons.
Exactly.
Thank fucking God that I've had successful surgeries or else I'd be a cripple right now. Like literally crippled. Like
yeah, but an operating room doesn't need to charge $180 a minute.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? You should just go to a doctor and pay a couple $1,000 and get your surgery or whatever. It should just be like any other thing. Like I don't go to the store to go shopping and pay insurance to get clothes. Like I just buy the clothes.
Open heart surgery is $500,000 minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy, right?
You know, like what if someone's on a bad PPO plan and they didn't read the numbers and they're like, oh, you're off the hook for 30% of a surgery that ends up being 1.2 million? Like, who the fuck's gonna pull $360,000 out of their pocket?
Well, how much does it cost to get like a boob job?
15,000.
Okay, that's a good one. It's just it's a crazy world. It's just the medical world's a trip. I'm kind of like taking care of my own health, but yeah, I mean, shit can happen, you know? It's like, what if you had some major injury and like broke your fucking arm sideways? You like were doing something and you fell or had an accident, like a car accident, some dumbass like causes you to swerve off the road and you just
But if you don't have the fucking right insurance.
No, I don't have insurance.
I'd
be fucked.
You'd be fucked.
Yeah, just let me die. Fine.
Right.
Yeah. 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 I'm ready to die already.
I'm just joking.
I've already done way more than I ever imagined I'd do. So I'm already there. Like every time I go surf, I'm like, I'd rather get eaten by a shark than like be a bitch and like be afraid.
Ever seen a shark in the wild?
Nah. I bet I've been close to one though.
I bet you have.
I wonder if one's ever been like right near me and I just didn't know, like right under me or something. But I've never seen one. I have friends who've seen them. It's pretty wild.
I'm sure a shark probably seen you. You're like, nah, this one.
I've had close encounters with elephant seal. It was like a huge one. It was like, fuck.
Are those things mean?
It didn't do anything, but I came up I wiped out on a wave and I came up and I'm kind of like disoriented and I kind of like turn my head and there's this fucking face. It's something like I'm just looking at this thing and it's enormous and my mind's I'm kind of just like, what the fuck am I even looking at? I couldn't even register. And then it blinked its eye. I saw it blink and I was like, oh shit. And it blinked again. I was like, that's a fucking animal. It's like, I saw the face. All of a sudden it all made sense. And I was like, it was close. It was like almost from me to you.
Oh,
and
fuck.
It probably was 15 feet long. and it just had its head like looking at me, like you're looking at me right now. I was just like, oh fuck, like
Yeah, you're in their world. They could fuck you up.
Oh, it could fuck me up. That's a big ass animal, and they're strong and they're built for the water.
And they're fast.
It's right in front of me, and then it took off and actually went. And Luca was out, 100 feet away from me, and it went towards Luca. I was like, "Oh shit, it's gonna go buzz Luca," and it went right up to Luca. And I saw Luca look at. He saw it, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Who is Luca? For everybody.
Oh, Luca's one of my tennis students who's also a rapper. So we did some rap songs, and he like got really into the lifestyle. So he would go out and surf with me, and he's just like he's like a really amazing, like old soul in a young body. So
by the way,
he's like 6'5" and athletic and just like a cool dude.
Luca's probably one of the best rappers that fucking didn't decide to rap. Fucking Luca. Luca saying, G, hate you for not rapping.
Mm-hmm. He's so good.
He was always too embarrassed, like that his parents might find out his lyrics.
It was so good.
It's like, my parents is like, works at Stanford and they're gonna get mad.
I know, right? All that pressure to like conform.
That chief cardiologist daddy.
So, yeah, it's a real thing, dude. You don't want to like piss off your parents, but at some point you got to be you. So maybe he'll come around on that. I don't know.
When was the last time you seen Luca?
I don't know. I talked to him on the phone. He always seems like he's not like on his path, and that's why.
Is he a doctor now?
No, he wants to. He's like, oh, you know what? He's in Costa Rica.
Oh, good.
He's in Costa Rica doing. He's like into like. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Like eco concern. I don't know, but he's really into nature, and I don't know what they're doing out there. It's fucking probably like chasing snakes. And he said he's surfing, and as long as he's surfing in the water and enjoying his life, that's all that mattered.
Yeah,
right? That's all.
Luca, run away. Don't conform.
Yeah, fucking start rapping again, bro. He's so good. I was just thinking about like, that's why the spiritual path, another cliche thing to say, the spiritual path, it just evens people out. It doesn't matter if you have a ton of talent or if you have like tons of money or none of that matters. It all gets like, you get destroyed. Like the first part of the spiritual path is like, well, first it's like kind of this fun thing and you're like, oh, there's all this cool stuff like yoga and psychedelics. But as you go deeper down it, once you're on the real path, you get destroyed and the devil comes. That's the real spiritual path. And that there's no mercy. It doesn't care. That is like the sign that people are on the right spiritual path. If they're getting really fucking tested to the point that like you might not make it like that. If you survive that, then you kind of step onto the real path of war. And I had to deal with that and it was brutal. And I see people dealing with that and it's like, yeah, that's the real shit. So all that other stuff is kind of just like the Matrix to me. Like all the fucking money and fame and all that stuff. That's cool. Yeah, take it, but not my path. I'm on a completely different level.
How do you feel the word spiritual these days is overly used on little fugazi?
My time is fugazi. I think most people just don't understand it. It's like such an easy thing to say, and it's kind of like got this like cool factor like a spirituality, and like people are like on their spiritual path, and it's real. I mean, it's definitely real.
But on their spiritual path, but then they're like not doing anything spiritual, but they're on their spiritual path.
I mean, as long as you shop at Lululemon, you're spiritual, right? That's all it really takes, and burn a little incense, and yeah, I mean. I think people get on the spiritual path because
they did a little drugs and they're like, oh, I'm spiritual guy.
Yes. And also they probably like were suffering a lot and maybe because of a relationship or a job. And they really had to like change. They had to kind of like shift gears in order to survive, and it could be probably a lot of things like a bad marriage and a bad job. They kind of like went down the mainstream path and it just wasn't working for them. And they were kind of just dying inside. And they made a choice to like, do some different shit. And then they start exploring like, well, what else is there? Like, this isn't working. And then most people like, that's how they get on that level, And there's so many different things. Like, it's not just yoga and psychedelic. Like, it could be anything. It could be like someone like moves to Costa Rica and becomes an organic chef. Like anything that you do that's in alignment with you. When you start to align with that, that's what spirituality is. It's very simple at a basic level. So, some people might be exploring in different things, trying to figure out what they really like. I do that all the time. I mean, it never ends. It's not like you become spiritual and then it's over. Like it's just a lifestyle
I see, I see.
dedicated to your own personal things that you resonate with and the things you like to do, as opposed to like what society's telling you to do or what your parents told you to do or what school told you to do or what the TV told you to do. Fuck all that, dude. Just do what you want to do in your heart. And that's it.
So you're not some kid just from Palo Alto that went to Santa Cruz, went to the wharf, saw a tie-dye t-shirt, and you're like, gonna go on my spiritual path.
No, I went to Cal Poly and ate the mushrooms with my dude Rob Rowdy and like saw God and pissed myself and woke up and like wanted to live off grid, and it's kind of a weird reality in it.
Hey, that's not too far-fetched.
And then I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna go crazy if I keep doing all these psychedelics. And I mean, Molly really like I don't think I'd ever felt anything that good. Like, you try Molly and like hits you the first time. I never danced. I was like the kid who was like listening to gangster rap on my subwoofers. But like, if I saw people dancing and like, I thought they were gay or weird, that's how weird I was raised. Like, but the second I tried Molly and listened to electronic music, I literally danced all night. Like, no one told me.
So you just went gay and weird.
I just went gay and weird. I just crossed the line. And that's the best thing that ever happened because it's like,
Isn't it crazy? It was just a metaphor. When you're the outsider looking in and not knowing what's going on, you have this perceived, oh, they're weird because I don't understand it. But then when you're entering that world, you're like, I'm sorry.
yeah, now I'm one of you.
I'm one of you. Like, I owe an apology.
Yeah, you just didn't know. Like, how could you know? Like, you just never felt that way before, and you were never like activated in that way. And then, of course, you're judging it because probably deep down you're like jealous, or you think it's like you want to be like that because it looks cool, but like part of you is like resisting and kind of scared and intimidated, and it's like,
I think that's a lot, or a lot of like, especially men, like they're afraid to enter spaces. It's just going to demasculine them. But like when they enter it, they're like, I'm still the same man. It's just like I'm learning new skills.
yeah. And I mean, I had a couple guys on my tennis team in college who were ravers. I'm from down south, and they'd done everything. Like they'd done Molly, ketamine, all this stuff, and they wanted me to go rave with them because they know, like I need to wake up.
Yeah, yeah.
Kept saying no, 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 and finally they broke me down. I was like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll go. And it changed my whole life, like in a good way. It's like, and thank God I said yes. Like I know like people who say no their whole lives, and it's like you never had that.
You could have just been like this judgmental fucker.
Yeah. And they live that way their whole lives. Their whole life is a no. And that's why I try to, I mean, you don't want to be too reckless with the yes, but it's good to say yes and have experiences. Like I'm not, someone tells me to jump off a fucking 80-foot cliff onto a bunch of rocks. Like, nah, dude, I'm good. But you have to be open to having transformational experiences. And like, that's how you grow in life. And the weird thing is a lot of the stuff that we've been taught is dangerous or like bad for us is actually, those are the actual tools. And that's when you step into like the drug world. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like these are the tools.
It's kind of like those old propaganda marijuana videos like the government used to put out.
Right. Exactly. Like, and it's crazy once you realize it, you cross over into like a whole different level. And it's like, damn, they lied about that. What else did they lie about? And then it's like, okay, these are the tools of evolution, and you can't abuse them and you can't become overly dependent on them because like, you can't just take a pill and expect to be like enlightened, like, but it's definitely an ally.
Yeah, it's a tool.
It's a tool, and it's just one tool out of hundreds, and it's a good one. And it's an important especially for someone like me who was kind of like raised in a dark world and everything was like a lot of fighting and parents are like freaking out and it's really negative and toxic. And to feel that good and just be uplifted to such a high level by a chemical and like remembering like some deep thing about being alive, like, wow, I can feel this good. Like, Jesus Christ.
I think the biggest tool that people don't use enough is people.
Mm-hmm.
Like meet people, use people, learn from people.
Mm-hmm.
like when I say use people, don't like take advantage of them, but take advantage of them in the sense of like learn from them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if they're doing fucked up shit with their life, you're learning like that's not who I want to be. But if you meet smart people, learn from like what made them successful. Learn from spiritual people, like real spiritual people, like that embody the whole essence. Like that's how you grow. Because like when you're like this child, man child growing up and you're like so deep inside yourself and you're just like, I don't know better and I've just been in my room my whole life. A lot of people stay in that room their whole life and they don't grow. And they're afraid to go outside. And I still constantly meet people that are stuck like that. Like I know people right now that live in San Jose that have never been, probably the furthest they have been in their life is San Francisco.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a small world that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I'm like, you got to go out, live life. You got to learn how to meet people. You got to learn how to meet girls. Not every girl that you meet, you don't have to boink them. It's like,
Be nice.
just be nice, like learn from them because women teach you a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And like for a long time, like I didn't understand like because I didn't really have a father growing up. Like I didn't understand the whole dynamics of like bonding with like other males. Like I recently learned that more later in my life. You know, and I kind of grew up by myself, and like I had my friends, but like that brotherhood like really helped me with my friends. And now it's like for a long time it was like kind of awkward for me to give another dude a hug, and and that's something I had to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird to me actually.
I was the same way. I got to college and I mean, just girls giving me hugs. I was like, that's not what I'm used to. And I liked it. It's like, oh, this is cool. Like, all right. Like everyone's kind of like giving love and receiving love. And just like, that was all fucking new for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's still like, I mean, 20 years, 25 years later, like even being in a very touchy feely scene in a dance, like it's still, I'm still shy and I'm still, I might not look like it, but like, it's just the way it is. And
Yeah, like if
break it open.
I go to one of your ecstatic events and like I may be hugging a girl that I just met for like 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a genuine, beautiful hug. It's a great feeling. And a lot of dudes don't even know how to handle that.
When I started dancing, it was like I would have, first it took me a couple years to get to the level that I could even have an amazing dance. And then when I would just be like, what did that even mean? Like, does she like me? Do I like her? Like, it was just like all these emotions. And like, I mean, dancing is almost like foreplay. Like a good dance is like, we're not doing like fucking tango. Like, this is like,
Oh yeah, you're roll
this is
on
like
top
a
of
lot of,
each other
yeah,
and
a lot of connections,
a lot of body touching
yeah, it's hot. And it's like,
and it's like yoga clothes on yoga clothes. So it's very, very like provocative.
it's super provocative dancing, and from the outside looking in, it looks very sexual, and it is, and it feels amazing, and it's erotic, and it's like some sometimes the dance will look erotic, but I don't feel turned on. But other dances, I just feel like I'm fucking getting hard, and just like I know it's a vibe, like there's a chemistry there. In those dances, I'm just like, you go for 15, 20 minutes and it's like, this can't go much further before like we just start making out or like that's where this wants to go. And you can feel it and she feels it. And it's like, kind of have to let it go.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, what does that mean? Should I go get her number? But then it's like, I'm not really there to pick up chicks. That's not what you really want to do. But then it's like, well, I do want to meet a girl. And this is like, how better way to get to know a girl's chemistry and your chemistry than dance with a girl and have an amazing dance? Like, that's like probably an indicator of how good your physical chemistry is and sexual chemistry, which is pretty fucking important when it
Yeah,
comes
you literally have rolled on the ground for 20 minutes with this girl.
to
body parts are touching, like just through clothes, and you're like
movement and smells and like all this stuff and like how their body feels and how fit they like everything. You're picking up information. It's definitely like, and it's none of it's spoken. That's another interesting. Like I don't even know this person's name. I've never talked to them before. I don't know anything about them, but I know a lot about them at the same time just from having a 10, 15-minute dance.
Isn't that crazy?
I know so much about them, like energetically.
Have you ever had a dance and then you were like, "Hey, can I get your number?" And they're like, "No."
I've never asked a girl for a number after dance. I've had girls ask me for my number.
There you go.
Which is fine. I've had dances with girls and then later that night we hook up and it's like, yeah, but that's like different scene, you know, like if you're going to a public dance, usually just leave. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's cool. I love it. It's fun.
crazy.
Yeah, that's one of my other goals. Music was my big thing. Living off grid, which I'm doing, and meeting my partner who's like, I still haven't met her. So it's like kind of a crazy thing because usually if I set my mind to something, I achieve it. And I've achieved a lot with producing music, at least in my mind, I have. I've learned a ton and I feel like the level I'm on is like, it's high. And then the off grid thing is like over the top dope.
Yeah, dude,
That's amazing.
That was the wildest thing that you told me. You're like, I'm just gonna be a man of the woods.
Mm-hmm. I talked to the trees. Yeah, and then
it happened.
It did, and so that's it's not done, but it's done. It's like it's happening, and then partnership. Like I've met a lot of cool women and danced with a lot of cool women, and I feel like I've transformed myself in ways that like.
Are you scared to?
I'm shy, bro. It is what it is.
I'm sure a woman was like, "Hey, let's take this to the next." And
well, I've had many partner. I mean, I haven't been in like long partnerships, but I've had I don't know how many girls I've slept with since I moved to Santa Cruz. I couldn't even count 10, 15. I don't know. And it's all I like it's like all I just want to find my partner, like someone that I just okay, like let's hang out more, you know. I just feel like stoked about him. And the chemistry's good mentally, physically, like we just vibe with each other. We just kind of activate each other in a way that's undeniable.
So are you gonna be like a man that's living in the woods with like 5 partners and 35 children?
Yeah. I don't think so. It's hard enough for me to find one partner, but maybe something will click, you know? Maybe I'll just get to the point in the path where like something just snaps and it's like, oh, now I get it. Then I could just have 20 chicks living on the property. They're all running around naked in the woods during the day and they're just frolicking in the creek.
Fucking very.
And then they run back and we all just have a big orgy every night and do mushrooms and why not? Why not? Just have a big poly cube up there and I mean
You're gonna make my ass. And the funny thing is I could actually imagine it happen.
I don't know. I don't know how that I don't know how it ends because it hasn't really even begun. But I do feel myself becoming more like people are starting to be more social with me and women are like very like it's good. Like I'm getting good feedback. So I'm like
see you coming out of the mist, the woods in your cloak. You're like, it's time, my ladies.
Come back. Come to the house. Frolicking time is over.
Come to the rest.
Why not?
Oh my God, you're full.
Yeah, I mean, I want to have psychedelic parties, and I just got invited to my first one. Like, it's kind of happening.
Weren't you dating like some witches, like with snakes?
I dated a girl with snakes. I've dated some witchy chick. I mean, every girl I hang out with at this point is going to be witchy, kind of trippy psychedelic girl or a yoga girl.
Yeah,
Those are the people that I'm attracted. Like, they have to be fit and healthy. Like these are just basic prerequisites.
So like fit, yoga, owns 3 snakes.
Those 3 snakes, yeah, like squirting orgasms and
Like bushy armpit hair.
no, no, not so attracted to that. I hooked up with one girl like that, and it's like, I mean, it's good sex, but I don't know. There's something unattractive about girls with armpit hair. It's a little dude like, I don't know. It's just not that hot. I don't know. Girls who shave their armpits, that's hotter. Just like, that's like a girl with a big bushy pussy. Like, I'm not into it. Like, a little bit's fine, but it's like too much of that's just like wild. Like, come on.
And you don't want to be picking it out of your teeth.
I don't want to be flossing my teeth with it. Yeah. That's just a little much. Not that I'm gonna like turn a girl down who's attractive, and it's just like, come on, yo, like, womanscape that shit. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. But I mean, sexuality is talk about a drug. Talk about people like losing their minds. Like, people literally kill each other over this. Like
Yeah.
people get cheated on, like kill their spouse, or like that's how intense like you know sexuality can make people super crazy.
People willing to lose everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like lost my morality and ethics over a demon, like a siren fucking nymph demon. It's like I couldn't resist. How do you resist that?
She had you in a spell.
Yeah, I was like an addict, and there's no. It's so powerful that there's no, like I'm pretty mentally strong. Like I couldn't control it, and I had to admit that to myself. That was part of the healings. Like
Is that why you were suicidal?
it was part of the reason that I got to such a dark place. Yeah, it broke me down. Being broken down for a decade by a woman that I loved and just being tortured and like having such an amazing like sexual chemistry and having the ability to like love someone that much and then also at the same time like hating her fucking the way she treated me and being disrespected in ways that were just so over the top that I just would like rage out of control. Like the level of intensity that would just turn one way, like turn towards the positive and then turn dark was just like it just broke me. It's like
So that was
crazy.
a very, very negative addiction. What's your most positive addiction that you have right now? Is it the ocean?
Stuff like this, hanging out with you, talking, the ocean, the project, the off-grid project, dancing. Like I have a lot of positive things. My nutrition, the people I work with at the project, like building things and learning new things, landscaping. Yeah, I'm blessed. I made the choice to commit myself or whatever to dedicate
one thing that I love when you named our whole list. You didn't mention anything about women.
There's a desire though.
There's a desire.
I will put if there's an opportunity with a woman, I'll cancel everything. I'll put it I prioritize it above everything else because I think it's the highest fulfillment is to find a partner. I think I can go to levels with a woman that I couldn't go anywhere with any of the drugs, any of the ocean, and I can go to high places with those things. But I've experienced with women like higher places than those. And to me, it's the highest of all ascension is to like find that perfect, that connection that's meant to be. I put it on a pedestal. I kind of obsess about it, but it's not like destroying me anymore. But I used to really question myself and why isn't this happening for me? Is there something wrong with me, And I've done a lot of work on myself to like kind of get myself in a place that I'm attractive to like really attractive high level women. Cause I'm a high level dude. Like it just makes sense that I'm going to be with a high level woman, but it's like,
yeah, you can't settle for something that's not on your level.
right. It has to be energetically compatible.